All right. Well, this is what happens when the kids show up to watch WWE at the house, and Papa gets to clean up the mess. So, you might be asking, why don't we use the dishwasher? That's a great frickin' question. Bought a whole new kitchen suite, dishwasher, microwave, oven, and refrigerator during COVID. And the dishwasher worked for approximately 2 weeks. And I've had 3 repair people out to try to get it to work. Every one of them comes up with a different excuse, and none of them can get it working. So, we have a beautiful, barely used, almost named the brand, I won't do that. And we've just given up, and now we hand wash everything. So, you get to watch me use the skills that I learned as a 16-year-old working at Halo Burger in Flint. And I still use those skills today. absolute ridiculous thing about what I just did. So I just cleaned everything up, so I can mess it up again. Yep. Gotta love it. Alright, so the meal prep is about a 10-pound hamburger roll. We are going to cook up a couple pounds of it. Half of it we're going to use for jalapeno poppers. I'm going to mix it into the sour cream. Then we're going to cut up the jalapenos. And the other half of it we're going to use in the egg bites that I'm going to prep for the week. So now we get to move over here and watch that. Now, part of what I do every week is measure my food. I have a very basic food scale here. Total of 1,126 grams. And again, I don't have fancy tools. I like these knives I picked up at Sam's Club. They were cheap. I sharpen them up with a cheap Amazon knife sharpener. Nothing fancy. But it works. I make up my own salt, pepper, and garlic mixture. And this time we're going to put some smoked paprika in it. But basically, it is 1 part ground pepper. Actually, this is coarse black pepper. 1 part. 1 part sea salt. That's it. And I guess technically 1/2 part granulated garlic. Or maybe a little less than 1/2 part. Now, I make this up all the time, and I usually have one sitting right here ready to use, but somebody in my family delightfully decided to get rid of it. I don't know what they did with it. I don't know where it went, but I always have these extra jars, and I just make my own. Nothing scientific, nothing fancy, but it works. And I put this on everything from steaks to hamburger. You can see over here we're gonna sprinkle it on the burger that we're making up. Give it a good seasoning. Color good. And then my splatter guard, just to make sure I don't make too big of a mess in here. Alright, so we're going to let that cook on low. Now it's time to get the seeds and guts out of the peppers as much as possible. And quite frankly, this is the most tedious part of making the poppers. Now, Sam's Club used to make pre-made jalapeno poppers that you could buy, about 30 of them at a time. And it was the greatest thing in the history of the world. No prep, no mess. Take them out of the package, put them in the air fryer, good to go. But evidently there weren't enough people buying them because last summer they didn't make them. So I had to start making my own. Not happy about that. If anybody wants to be my prep chef and make my poppers for me, send me a price. I'm interested. Had to take off the sweatshirt. So, there is no non-messy way to do this. So today, what we're doing is we are going to mix up this cream cheese with the burger. So we've got 433 grams of cream cheese. We're going to zero that out. And then we're going to strain our burger. And we're going to put about 400 grams of burger in there. So I spent a couple years chasing high ketones with high fat. And my goal now is high protein with much less fat. Now I know this looks really fatty, but again, that's part of the reason that we're staying away from some of the bacon. But chasing ketones, which in the keto community is what everybody talks about, I tried that for a long time. And while it initially worked, I actually got back up to 263 pounds, plus 30 pounds, with ketones in the 1.5 to 3 range on a fairly regular basis. Now, the way I did that was with MCT oil, with putting coconut oil in my coffee every day, super high fat like pork belly, ribeye steaks. Now we're doing a little leaner. I'm still using hamburger, which is, a little higher fat, but I drain off a lot of the grease. Cream cheese, but we're modifying the carbs. The only carbs I really ingest are natural carbs, fruits, berries mostly, peppers, salads, things like that. We are staying away from processed carbs, very little bread. If I do use any kind of a sandwich type thing, it's usually a low carb wrap or something like that. And it's working, because this morning we were down to 226 pounds. So again, let's take a look at what we got. So we're going to end up putting this in the oven. And again, we're skipping the bacon this time, simply because we want to try something new. So cream cheese, sauteed seasoned burger, and we're going to put this in the oven, and we'll see how they come out. All right, next project, we're going to prep the egg bites. All right, so I bought these little tins, silicone tins, to put in the oven, making egg bites. And again, based on ChatGPT, what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the bottom and then I'm going to mix up some eggs and pour egg over the top, and throw them in the oven, see what happens. And this Abby is standing guard, waiting for me to drop some of this delicious meat on the floor so she can have some. So again, to figure my macros on this, I'm going to take the totals that I mentioned before, and I'm going to divide that 1 pound of cream cheese and the total grams of the burger, and then basically split it in half. Half of it towards the poppers, and make a total recipe and then a serving size out of that. So that would be 18 servings. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 servings. And now, what do you think? 6 eggs? One of the other things I like to do is get started with a good high protein type breakfast. This is just some non-fat plain yogurt. And I do about 120 grams. Actually, that's 140. We'll call it 150 with what's on the spoon. And we'll plug that into chronometer. And then a little bit of fruit on it. So this is mixed frozen berries from Sam's Club. I thaw them out and put about 70 grams, 75 on the yogurt. And so we got 150 grams of yogurt and 70 grams of berries. Mix it up, and it's a good high protein, moderate fat breakfast, or snack or dinner or whatever. It's tasty. It hits the spot. About 9:50 on Sunday morning. I've been up here in the kitchen for almost 2 hours. I'm prepping all this food for later today and into the week. I can throw them in my lunch or in my lunch box with some meat sticks, maybe a little thing of yogurt, a couple protein bars, and I can get through the day. And I mean, a typical day tomorrow on Monday, I leave the house at 5:30. We have a one-team meeting at 7. We have a team meeting with our service techs at 8, and then I'll have my first appointment at 9. And another one at 1. By the time I get home at night, it's probably going to be 5, 6 o'clock. So 12-hour day on Mondays. So I have to food prep. Now, back in the day when I was a salesman, I would just eat crap on the road. And that's why those photos you saw when I first started the video today, my before and afters, I was pushing 300 pounds. This morning, 226. Nothing fancy. I'm just a 59-year-old dude from Durand, Michigan, who's got a wife, 2 daughters, and 2 grandsons. That lives a normal, everyday life. But I've made health a priority since my heart attack, and I'm on my quest to be in the best shape of my life by my 60th birthday in April. So just wanted to give you a glimpse of what I do to find some success. Now, as I posted in my last video, we do a lot of losing too. And a lot of failing. As a matter of fact, we're going to work out this afternoon and fail some more. You know, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. My goal is 199 pounds. We got 72 days left, I think. Today's February 1st. And we're going to do our best. And if we fall short, we fall short. But 2 days ago, I touched 225 pounds for one day. That's the lowest weight I've been. We're trying to figure it out, but I think since I was 20 or 21 years old. So yeah, if you're like me, a normal dude, just working for a living, trying to get by, trying to get in decent shape, and I put into AI a little exercise. We'll see how it comes out. But I'll show you guys pictures from 10 years ago when I was 49 years old and pictures today. Imagine what you're going to look like 10 years from now. Or 15. If you keep doing what you've been doing. If you change, imagine what that'll look like too. So, all right, I'll show you the finished pictures when everything gets done cooking. But for now, I'm Brian. This is Brian Silver Health Quest. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, stick around, and join me. Make comments below, and I'd love to have somebody to tag along with. I'll pull you up, I'll root you on, you root me on. We'll see where we can get this thing. Take it easy. All right, so here's the moment of truth. This is one of the egg bites, and let's see how they turned out. Wow. That is a perfect fat mom, real food, whole food. Man, that's good. Now, I forgot to film having the first popper, and I'm not going to have another one. So, we'll see you soon.